Hey guys, it's Steven here, back with another video and another episode of the Daily Manchester City News Roundup. And of course I will be touching on today's headlines, some very interesting headlines. But before we get into that, I want to once again say thank you to Oddschecker. The 2021 season countdown is brought to you by Oddschecker, your one-stop betting hub. Yep, thanks to Oddschecker for sponsoring the 2021 season countdown here on Esteemed Kompany. There's only 5 days left now. 5 days. It's flown by until the start of the Premier League season. And if you like a pun, Oddschecker is the only betting app you'll need for the Premier League season. Basically, Oddschecker used to be a place where you could just compare odds, and now you can actually make bets through that while also finding all the best odds available here. It's basically kind of like Deliveroo, but for betting. And today they've asked me to talk about European competition and who I think is going to win the Champions League. I've just been looking at the odds and somehow, comically, Manchester City are actually favourites for next season's Champions League. It's like, when are they going to learn these bookies? But we're still at 9-2, buying there at 9-2 as well. I really can't see past anyone else other than Manchester City Football Club. I have no faith in City to do the absolute, do the right thing in the Champions League. We're going to mess it up every single year. But Bayern, maybe. Bayern's team is getting better and better. And maybe Liverpool next season if they improve. Who knows who it'll be. But it won't be Manchester City. That much is for certain. Maybe it will. But I can't really see it. But anyway, if you haven't already, check the link in the description below to download the Oddschecker app where you can bet with all the leading bookies in one place. And don't forget, you got to be 18 plus and also gamble responsibly. Be sensible. Right, today we're going to talk about three things in particular, as you can see down at the bottom. I'm going to start initially with Angelino. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Angelino is going to be leaving permanently to join RB Leipzig. And I'm very, very, very disappointed by this. Now, if you follow me on Patreon, your Patreon or second tier YouTube member, you probably know that recently I did a video basically explaining why I thought Angelino should stay at Manchester City this season. And I still strongly believe this, but it looks likely that once again, City are going to sell off a very saleable asset for next to nothing. I'm very disappointed by this potential transfer. Angelino is probably going to go to RB Leipzig. They're probably going to exercise their right to buy for around, I think it's around 20 to 25 million euros. I've seen conflicting reports on this front, but either way, all I know is that largely it's probably peanuts. If it is 20 million euros, that's about, 15, 16 million pounds, which just seems absolutely farcical for a man who just got into the Champions League team of the season. Now, I'm not saying he should be Manchester City's first choice left back or anything like that, but the point I'm saying is he's proved himself at a very high level with a very high pedigree, and he's one of the most sought after left backs in the world currently, and we're selling him for absolute peanuts. I'm so jealous of these clubs who sell players like that for, what did Dominic Solanke go for in the end, to Bournemouth from Liverpool. Look what we sell an established Champions League player for. It's just embarrassing. A young one as well, with loads of clubs looking at him. I personally believe that basically Angelino should be Manchester City squad this season. I genuinely believe that to be true. For the reasons where I think actually Angelino could offer an awful lot to this potential Manchester City side. Say Manchester City do actually complete their transfer window this summer and they get Ake in and Koulibaly. So you've got potentially a back three situation where you've got Laporte, Ake, Koulibaly all playing together. So you've got that pace in the back line, which is allows them to actually play with wing-backs. And what does that mean? It means someone like Angelino is proving himself to be an excellent wing-back. He's not a great left-back, I agree, but he's definitely an excellent wing-back. It would be very, very, very useful. And we're going to get rid of him. I'm really gutted about this because Angelino, I still think personally he's a better option than Zinchenko. We've already got a defensive potential fullback as well in Nathan Ake. So personally, I want Angelino to stay around and get another go, presuming we'll have more chances as a left wing back next season, because I think City will play that. We saw obviously against Lyon where it didn't work, but I think City, if they get Koulibaly and to add to alongside Ake and Laporte, we will see Manchester City try that. And I really wanted Angelino to get another go. But if he's not going to go, what I'd rather do is actually make some money on him. I'm very frustrated with City's inability to make money on players that actually have a profile and actually have some, some credibility. I mean, another one is Jack Harrison. I'm pretty certain, he's one of Leeds' best players. He's gone up. He'll probably have another good season, but they've still got a right to buy anyway for 15 million, if even that. I'm so tired of it. Manchester City are very bad at selling players. It's something that we need to improve on loads, and I think Angelino is a great example where, I don't know, I feel like if Chelsea were selling Angelino, they'd get 30 million for him, but we'll probably get about 16. I know like 20 million euros, so about 15, 16 million, which is genuinely very frustrating. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him because obviously he's playing at a level that he really likes. He's playing for a team he really enjoys, and it's good for him. And he's another academy graduate doing very well, so well done. But I feel like we shouldn't have closed the door yet on him, is what I'm saying. But it's probably going to happen, and all the best to him when it does actually happen. Another quick one. I wanted to talk quickly about a young 19-year-old centre-back we sent on loan to Rochdale, Yeboah Amankwah. He's a really good young defender. He's just struggled to get the kind of attention or the game time for the EDS because we've got other very good prospects. Of course, Eric Garcia jumped ahead of him. We've got Taylor Harwood-Bellis as well. And Amankwah is a very good young defender, but this will be a chance for him now to get some football at Rochdale, at a decent level, you know. It'd be good to see if he actually plays regularly because he's a big, tall lad. He's strong. He's got a lot of physicality, a lot of good pace. He can pass the ball a little bit as well. I wouldn't say he's the best at passing the ball, but he's definitely got the potential to mould into a very good player. So I like seeing these kind of little loans with a 19, and you get potentially a chance at a league club, you know. This could be a good move for him. Fingers crossed he actually steps up and makes the grade there. And finally, I had to get onto this. Oh, Phil Foden, Mason Greenwood, you silly little boys. Yeah, I know I didn't really want to add too much to this, but I guarantee all the comments would have been about this today, so I have to kind of address it. I can't really say more than anything else will say, but what I will do is try and add a bit of perspective while trying to admonish them responsibly, but also add a little bit of perspective to this. They're idiots. There's absolutely no way about it. They're idiots for two reasons. Well, mainly they're idiots for many reasons. Mainly, also, it's a pandemic, you know? It's awful. It's awful to break these pandemic rules. People a lot less healthy than them, a lot less financially well off than them, are an awful lot more vulnerable, and they're going to work, and they're on the front line, and all this kind of stuff, and they're struggling a little bit. And you'd hope that these lads can try and set an example. I am not going to firmly blame them for everything, of course, because there's loads of young lads and loads of people across the world who aren't following the rules. But you'd hope on their first England away trip, you'd hope that they would be sensible and try not basically think with a penis, if we're being totally honest. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And it's embarrassing for them. It's definitely embarrassing. It's stupid, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And it's embarrassing for England for not being able to control this. It's embarrassing, and it's proven that they're mentally not ready to be involved at this level yet. What I will say largely is, of course, Foden has his own family. You know, he has a long-term partner. He's got a young child as well himself. And he should be embarrassed, I'm sure he is. There's some reports going around now that apparently his family are very upset with him, ashamed of him, and I'm sure they are. And he should be embarrassed, and he should be ashamed. He released a statement which is good, at least he's owned up to it, and hopefully now he learns from this. Now, what I will say, and this is in no way an excuse, of course, and honestly, this is no way an excuse, is perspective is, of course, needed. Stupid, idiotic, selfish thing to do. Let's not pretend he's killed someone. All I will say is let's not pretend he's killed someone. He would rightfully get the front page and back page headlines tomorrow, and he will be all over the papers, and Mason Greenwood will get them too, and they'll both be embarrassed and shamed. But hopefully they will learn from this, you know? This isn't Marcus Alonso essentially committing manslaughter. Let's be totally honest about this. This is totally different to this. I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing. Of course it is. But what I'm saying is that everyone, when they're younger, will sometimes make a mistake. I'm hoping he has the wherewithal and the intelligence to learn from this. Phil, if you're somehow watching, you made a mistake. You've admitted it. You've owned up for it. And now hopefully you can learn from this. Thankfully, some players can actually learn from this and move on. If you look at someone like Frank Lampard, a widely acknowledged and respected person within the game, at 22 years old, this guy had a sex tape with Kieran Dyer and other footballers. He also, at 23 years old, was running through an airport, pissed up, right after 9/11, and singing like a chant and all this kind of stuff, and making a tit of himself after people were grieving American tourists. You know, this is Frank Lampard in his early 20s, but he grew into a man, you know, a very respectable man. And I'm sure the likes of David Silva and Aguero before social media in the 1920s got up to these similar kind of things. Of course, it wasn't during a pandemic, but I'm sure most footballers, unfortunately, have probably been, they probably cheated on their partners. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying they're in an environment where that kind of stuff is probably like basically encouraged because it's such a laddie environment. It's a weird world that none of us live in, that we can't relate to. Footballers from 15 years old go through this Peter Pan kind of lifestyle where they never grow up and they have people throwing themselves at them. They live in this childish, infantile world, and hopefully at some point, moments like this can slap them out of it because they need to grow up. It's very difficult because essentially you've got a locker room full of 30 odd blokes basically, and I can imagine the things that they say are incredibly unsavoury at times. But you're hoping that something like this will be a wake-up call for Phil Foden to actually try and grow up a little bit. He's had basically all of his life in the spotlight for the past 5 years. There's a lot of pressure for a young lad. At some point, he was going to slip up. It was inevitable, you know. When you've got that much spotlight on a young player, it's not possible at some point they won't make a mistake. It's going to happen. It's a bad mistake. There's no two ways about it. But hopefully now he'll learn his lesson. I thought Southgate handled it really well personally. I think City were right to admonish it too. And I think Foden's hold his hands up. Now, personally, what happens now personally is none of our business. You know, I'm sure his family will deal with it. His agent will deal with it. And he's obviously got some issues to sort now. But that's none of our business. So far, I think the response has been totally fine from the FA, for England and from Manchester City. And hopefully he learns his lesson. A silly little boy. Hopefully he grows up. You made a mistake, Phil. You made a mistake. This was your strike. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person. It means you've been a terrible person. Now use this as a chance to grow up a little bit and try and respect those around you. And if you're not happy in your relationship, don't hang around with it. Don't upset one. I don't know who I'm talking to. He's not going to see this, of course. But if you're not happy in your relationship, just at least do the honourable thing and don't break that poor girl's heart, That's all I will say. And look after your family. Anyway, guys, that's just my thought there on that take. Very real there. Let me know what you make of the Angelino stuff, and I don't even dare read the comments about the phone and stuff. I will be back tomorrow for a live video and that kind of stuff. But I want to do a very quick news roundup because I got back late from London doing some filming with AFTV, actually, interestingly, which will be on their channel pretty soon. Some big season debates and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you to all the patrons and all the YouTube members on the side of the screen right now and all that kind of stuff. And don't forget to go and check out Odds Checker as well. The only betting app you need for the 2021 season. Guys, love you all loads. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.